so I'll be running the meeting tonight. So we'll call over Flex Loop. Before we get into community comments, I just want to kind of talk about some ground rules because sometimes we get a little relaxed. I was saying earlier that it's not our intention for anybody not to be able to speak. We want everybody to be able to speak. But we need to keep some kind of a semblance of order when we speak. So on our number 2 on our agenda always is community comments. And community comments is the time for if you have something to say that you would like to speak about that's not agendized below, that's the time to do it. Time not to do it is while we're talking about one of the agenda items. So hopefully tonight we can stick to the agenda and try to have a little more order than the last meeting because we did get some feedback from some of the residents that they were a little frustrated. We get frustrated too. So that said, community comments, yes.
Do you have a podium?
Would you like a podium?
No, it's okay. No, I mean, I just...
Correspondence. And this is, you said there was a lot.
Okay,
So
well, it's okay. And some of it I was going to read off my computer, but I can't get my hotspot to work, so I'm just going to have to announce. First of all, we have, we'll start with the trucks. We received notification from the county that the property owner is intending to seek a zone change to change it from ag to industrial for a storage facility. Now the emails that we've received several emails on this. We have turned the matter over to regional planning, asked them to investigate, send an inspector out because the property also looks like it's been much further stripped of vegetation than it was before. And so we have not heard back from them. We sent that, I think it was a week ago. And so sometimes it takes them a while to get out for an inspector. But the emails we've received from the public are several emails, that it's not a storage facility, it's a 24-hour truck trailer delivery pickup place where trucks, rigs, there's tractor trailers.
Switch out.
transfer.
Yes,
Yeah.
so
I think somebody used the word terminal.
a terminal, so.
Yeah, that would be.
Which is basically what's that industrial facility right down here that caused that terrible accident with with the ambulance, because cars whiz along at 75 miles an hour, and a slow-moving truck turns right, it collided with an ambulance. It was terrible. That's one of the reasons why we got the stop sign down there at Aliso. So we have asked, we put this request into Public Works years ago saying you cannot, I don't care if it's a by right use, if it doesn't have line of sight and it's not safe in terms of traffic, a slow moving rig pulling onto a highway where 80 mile and 70 mile an hour, and I know it's 70 miles an hour because I know people who race the train. And so at any rate, you cannot be authorizing that. It doesn't matter if it's ministerial. So they have added that to their list, we've been told, of things they look at for development permits. Mm-hmm. But that site has been, the property owner is going to request a zone change. So when that happens, when the application gets submitted, we will need to hear from the public about what they think about having even more industrially zoned property in our community. So I'm sure you will share your feelings, but we will let you know when that happens.
But Jackie, can they even start using
No.
it before they have? I
No.
mean, that just sounds
No.
stupid to me.
Well,
So regional planning, we've notified regional planning.
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And the regional planning has the option, put it that way, to issue notice of violation on the property. And if they do that, and then the property owner comes in and applies for a zone change, they're going to have to clear the notice of violation before they can even. This is what the law says. Now, whether or not that law is followed is a different issue, but the way it's supposed to work is what I just outlined. So yes, you're not supposed to use a use without a permit, but Thousand Trails has been operating for almost 15 years without a permit, so.
Well, and there's
Right, that's more than just not having a CUP. They want a zone change.
Yes, exactly.
And there's 15 to 20 tractor trailers there
Yeah.
on any given day.
I've noticed it's been growing.
And people have said they come in at all hours, in the
Yeah.
middle of the night, and hook the
Sure.
rig or drop off one rig, and I'm wondering why, that's such a weird transit area. I wonder if it's like part of the cannabis stuff going on there, detectives were talking about, well, if we could just get the truck, so maybe they shut them off somewhere, I don't know, it just seems such an odd use.
William?
I'm sorry, I'm having problems hearing, especially when Jackie's talking through the mask.
Well, I'm not gonna take this mask off, because
That's all
I'm not,
right.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to discuss masks.
Okay.
I'm
I'm not happy about it either, let me put that.
Okay, whatever you want. I want to understand exactly what this location is that you're talking about.
It's at Soledad and Sierra, right near the freeway on-ramp, on the northeast,
It's from the fire
east-ish
station.
end of Acton.
Very visible
Oh, all
from
the way down.
Yeah,
from
all
the
the way
freeway.
at the other end.
Yeah,
Okay.
Soledad on ramp.
I saw it from the freeway.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one place. On your website, there's discussion briefly of a site here in downtown at Soledad and Smith's. Is that Ron Hockman's yard or no, is that something else?
Well, this is Smith right here, so.
Right, that would be where the Great White Arch is.
I'm sorry, it's
The
what?
arch, the property with the arch,
Yeah,
the arch of
that's-
Acton.
Ron Hockman's property, or at least it
No,
was.
that's not Ron's.
No, it's that sewer company,
No, it's something different.
No, what
No,
do
it's
they
a
call it?
construction
It's
company.
KIP Construction has
KIP.
half of it, and then the
KIP.
sewer pumper people have the other half, whatever
Yeah.
that.
Okay, so.
Two separate
Okay, I
locations.
saw Kip's name on there, but I didn't realize it was split into two different owners.
Well, we
I
were
think one's a
told,
rental.
well, okay, remember when Ruthie had we had the committee, the Community Beautification Committee, in the meetings that we had, that the gentleman, I think it was Mr. Kip,
Yes.
came and talked, and he said that he shares the facility with another company. So I don't know that it's split in two parcels, but I do understand that there are two uses. We've been told by one of the users that there are two uses on the property, isn't that what they
Right,
said?
yes.
So we don't know anything about,
Kip owns it, but I think he leases to the other company.
which isn't legal if it's not
What
something.
he did say at the meeting was that he was going to put a building on that property, and what
Right.
he did with it was none of our business. I do remember that.
His dad passed away.
What's the zoning on that property?
I believe it's industrial,
Yes.
but it could be commercial, but I think it's industrial.
Okay, so is Ron Hockman's property not part of that?
Not even,
That's separate, or it was, or he's
I thought
gone?
that
it's not close.
Mr. Hopp's
It's, his-
property is the Dollar General property.
but Ron Hock owns part of the other side too.
That-
I could-
But they're separate property, or
That's a
parcels.
separate part of the
Yes.
property, okay. Now, I'm just trying to understand, these are relatively new things that have happened, and,
No, the trucking outfit is at the other end of Acton, and they've just designated an area right off the freeway where it's convenient for them to drop off the tractor trailers.
I mean, it's unfortunate for them that it's A2, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yep.
Is this about the
Is
trucks?
it, is it
Is yours?
unfortunate? I'm sorry, that's your opinion, that it's unfortunate, the same thing.
Well, because it is my opinion. Everything I say here is my opinion.
Okay, that's not
Okay.
Jess's opinion.
Okay, that's my opinion, because you've got a freeway, and you've got a highway, you've got a piece of land in it, and it's kind of locked by two highways. You're not gonna put a ranch and a farm on that land.
No.
It's a tough piece of property to develop. That's what I meant.
Okay.
Is there going to be any protection with that permit that they're going to get to do this, to keep it from looking like that old road that you get off of get off the freeway, go down to the first stop?
Or persons who owns property in Central Acton, did remove almost all the junipers on the property, stripped it bare, and then they applied for a house permit. Neighbors had complained, and the county came in and did do a notice of violation on the property because of stripping more than 10%. And so without a CUP. So now this property owner has applied for the housing permit. They were told they have to get a minor CUP. So their plans are posted, are going to be posted on the website. So we have asked for supplemental information. We've asked for a lot of information on it. We've been told by the partner in the planning that this issue
So,
And the county biologist is recommending hydroseeding. So when we wrote in and said, well, hydroseeding must be a really small area, because we didn't even know the assessor parcel number or the location, we were told, no, this is one of the parcels that was completely stripped, 5 acres. I think 34 junipers are removed, 34 yuccas, 22 junipers, and there's like 3 or 4 junipers left on 5 acres. And so we have asked we have invited, the applicant has asked to present their project to a town council meeting. We've invited them to attend on September 20th, excuse me. That invitation has not yet been accepted or rejected, we don't know. I sent it last week. So tentatively, this project will happen here on September 20th, so you will see what will happen in situations when properties get stripped, what the fix is. Now, the biologist has recommended hydroseeding, and we have asked the biologist, we've asked regional planning to explain to us how that achieves our vegetation preservation, because we are not a grassland here.
Right.
We are chaparral, we are juniper woodland. And we have also said that we will look at this project as a community consistent with the zoning code, which requires that the project be compatible with the surrounding uses. And we have also asked regional planning to include in their assessment all of the dust control measures that are required by AQMD Rule 403, including how they can control dust, because dust has become a big problem. That's how we learned about it. The neighbors are complaining. So, if you're concerned or interested to learn how the county proceeds in situations where they've stripped property bare and they weren't supposed to, you might be able to find out on September 20th if this person accepts our invitation. Okay, so now, housing element is being revised. This is one of the things I'd hoped to bring up, but I can't get my hotspot to work. I believe there's a public workshop on August 4th. It's remote, so you can log in and see what changes they're proposing for density increases in the unincorporated areas for the housing element. I apologize, I can't pull it up on my screen, so I'll send it to you tomorrow and you can post it on the website. So if you're interested in looking at that, that's in 2 days. It's the housing element update, which we're getting mixed messages. Members in the Association of Rural Town Councils have looked at the maps and are concerned about the densification that the maps present, but we've been told by regional planning that they don't increase densities in our area. I haven't had a chance to look at it in detail, so if you want to learn more about it, please hop in on that. We received communication from a resident regarding something called the Casula's development. It's also known as the Pratty Project, which is the 200 some odd home development project in Agua Dulce on the boundary with Acton. We don't have any information on it. It was not a project, I think like 20 or 15 years ago, Carl Young looked at it only for access because they need access to it. A portion of it will be coming from Acton. So we have requested the county to provide a copy of the EIR so we can learn what the assumptions were in terms of access, traffic, and also water demand. That's not a project in Acton, but this resident lives in the area of Escondido, so we said we're going to get the EIR. When we get it, we'll post it on the website and you can learn more about it. This is another thing I couldn't pull up, but the Antelope Valley Link project. We received a notice of availability. I didn't get a chance to open it up, but I believe what they're announcing is that the EIR is released for the project where they are doubling the train trips through the community between Palmdale and Santa Clarita. And in some of the meetings that they've had specific requests from the city of Santa Clarita and apparently the Antelope Valley, to substantially increase the number of late night running trains, because people in Lancaster and Santa Clarita want to be able to go to Los Angeles for nighttime events and then be able to take the train home at 2 or 3 in the morning. So on that particular AVL project, we gave extensive comments on what's called the scoping phase of the project, asking for quiet zones to be installed in Acton so that our residents don't have to have twice as much sound coming through with the trains and the horns and all that. That request, we were told that probably would not be incorporated. The EIR that's pending, I believe has just been released, should address that issue, why they're not doing that. It's not something that is hard for them to do. They could do it very easily, but they're apparently not inclined to do so. So we will post that on the website too, once I get a chance to open it up and send it. And I guess that's,
Metro.
yes, that's the Metro project, the Antelope Valley Line project.
And we got a certified letter, but I wasn't able to get it today, but I got notice on Saturday that there's a certified letter for Jeremiah and Jackie, 2 of them. So I'll pick them up tomorrow and I'll get it to you, Jackie. Okay, so it's something that they want us to be aware of, obviously.
Well, anybody who lives in that
That's from
area.
Metro?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Anybody
what
who
it
lives in
said.
that area.
Did you have a lot of residents send in comments when you asked a few months ago about the increased train
We had
thing? I mean,
a number of
did people write in?
We had not as many as I'd hoped. I don't think I could get the traction and COVID and, you know, that we weren't even.
Because that's going to be a really big issue, and I don't think
Huge
people
issue.
understand.
I live miles from the tracks and the morning wakes my husband
Yeah.
up at 2 in the morning. So
And that's
I don't-
Metro who we would complain to, or you, and then we copy Metro, or who do, I mean,
Well,
or is it too late?
no, the EIR is out and we explained to them a couple of things actually. An EIR, the Environmental Impact Report, it's something that, it's the analysis of significant impacts of a project. And it's done under what's called the California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA. You've probably heard about it. And CEQA requires that before a project can be approved by a government agency, they have to consider all the significant impacts, and then they have to impose or develop mitigation measures to reduce those impacts to the level of less than significant, or decide that they can't be mitigated and then just make sure the public is aware of all the bad things that are going to happen from this project. So we've explained to them that they can mitigate the sound impacts by implementing quiet zones. But because of the way AVL does its analysis for noise impacts, it takes the noise impacts that happens at, say, 80 decibels, 10 feet from the train, and averages it over a 24-hour period. So 48 trains a day, or whatever the number is, average it over a 24-hour day. Each time the train goes by, it's not going to have more than a decibel of bulk increase in impact. And they say, well, decibel's not a big deal. Well, that's because of the way they're choosing to analyze the noise impacts. CEQA says very clearly noise impacts are to be assessed at the time and location that they occur, which means this whole 24-hour averaging process is a violation of CEQA. We sent detailed letters about this to AVL on this very issue. And I don't know. They are supposed to take our letters and incorporate them in the EIR and address our concerns. That's why we spent so much time on scoping. I don't know what they have said to our concerns because I haven't opened it. But yes, that's something that everybody should be aware of because it's terrible the way they calculate noise. This community is going to get shot through and nobody seems to know about it or care. I can't lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Yeah,
So,
no, I understand.
at any rate, so that's a big, please look at that. So
That's what I got, Jackie, but it just came on Saturday, so I haven't picked it up.
yeah, that's it.
So it's for you and you.
Okay. I'll post it on
I'll get it tomorrow and I'll deliver it to
the,
you.
I'm sure there are other things, but that's enough.
Okay. Sheriff Martinez sent in the crime stats for us. I can try to go through them real quick. This is from January, I guess it says year-to-date. It's a report, January 1st, 2021 to 7/3. Homicide 0. It says rape 2. Assault aggravated 3. Let's see. Robbery 1 in March. For year-to-date 2. I don't know where 1 in June as well. And that's burglary. 2, April 2, May 2, June 4, July 2, so there's quite a bit of burglary going on.
Right at the beginning of every month.
Yeah, let's see what else is in here. Theft, other grand theft, looks like 1 for every month, with 2 in July. Those are zeros. Petty theft, 4 in January, 1 in February, 1 in March, 1 in April, 1 in June. Auto theft, 9 in February, and then 1, looks like March, 1 in April, 1 in May, 3 in June, and 5 this month. Arson, 1, I think we know what that is. That was the fire up in Santa Clara's. So that's what we're looking at here. The rest of this I don't know how to decipher, so just give you an idea. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Anything else of interest on here? You probably better say this better. So, all right, that's all. Okay.
So Tom,
Yes.
back to correspondence, and that part on there about the continuation.
Oh, yeah. So we received today, you said? This is what we get from the Board of Supervisors for the agendas, what's on the agendas for the upcoming meetings. And item number 8 on this, it says, request Supervisor Barger requests the following item to be continued to August 31st, hearing on the Acton Community Standards District update. So she did request a continuance. I assume it's going to happen. Chuck, you were going to get us possibly some more information on how we should react to this?
So that's how it's done, they have to open it up.
Okay, should we comment on this at all, or do we lose our opportunity to comment?
You know, I still don't have an answer, because I asked that, I'll get you a message tomorrow.
Okay.
Email you guys, whether you comment now.
Well, we did write a comment letter.
Right, we did. And it is on the next, it's listed, it's slated to be on the next agenda, or the agenda for August 31st.
Problem is, that's 4 weeks away, and we still haven't heard Public Works.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen here. Okay, any correspondence, Troy? Kelvin? Okay. We're going to close up that. And Trails Community Standards District, I know that's... So I know you guys had a good meeting.
Yesterday.
Yesterday?
At 3 o'clock, we met here, and Jackie's going to give a more elaborate, but we had 10 to 12, I think, people here. We've got some of them present again tonight, which is great. And we talked about how we can proceed forward. Oh, yeah, Kelly handed out,
If you haven't got this, is the bullet points.
yep,
As Jackie says, these are the facts, not the emotion part. So these are the facts you can put into your letters. You can grab these.
We're also, they are posted on the website yet, we just ran out of time today, so.
So from the meeting yesterday, we sort of came up with a four-pronged approach to deal with the CSD and the trails issue.
yeah.
First is and these are all things we can do in parallel, okay? First is to address the mapping issue. We need more people helping us map trails. Parks and Rec has asked us for that input. We're going to take them at their word and give it to them, and hopefully it'll matter. We have asked, since Parks and Rec
Thank you.
is disinclined to secure trails in areas where trails don't exist, where no trails are mapped, we've asked them to amend their maps and include all the roads in Acton so that that is not an issue. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. So there's two parts to the mapping prompt. The second prompt is addressing the CSD. And as you can tell, that's the highest priority item. We only have 4 weeks to fix everything that's wrong in the CSD with respect to trails, as well as public works and things. And sorry. So on that, we had a long discussion about that yesterday, and there are a lot of people in the community who committed to writing letters and putting their, if they can, their spin on the issue and why it's important to them. We committed to coming in. We committed to developing sort of bullet point items of what's going on and why the trails are important as sort of one of the foundation of the letter. I promised you it would be on the website. It will be on tonight after this meeting. I haven't had a chance to finish getting the list of all the people to whom we should address the letters, but that will be up on the website as soon as I can. It should probably tomorrow by noon. There's like 10 addresses I have to look up, and I have to do the mailing address, the email address, in case people want to do that. So then, we need to have everybody in this community who's concerned about trails write their concerns and write to Parks and Recs, write to Public Works, and write to Regional Planning, and more importantly, write to the Supervisor Barber's office to let her know that at least as of this point, the concerns we have with the trails are still not being resolved. Parks and Recs is agreeing to meet with us every 2 months, and we have meetings and we discuss things. And at the last meeting, we said, how does your plan achieve the policies, the trail policies in the county general plan? And there is no answer. There's still no answer. And so, and we recommended this idea with the roads, and they've told us that they're not inclined to act on that. They haven't told us why. They've just said no, basically. So, I'm not seeing, and Kelly can jump in here, and I'm just not seeing how, just 1 second, I'm not seeing how what the current CSD says achieves the policies that we're trying to implement. So, sorry, go on.
Right.
No, I just didn't know if you had the contacts that we're supposed to notify.
We don't have it ready
I just
yet.
said,
Put it on the website.
Okay.
I promise you I will get it as
I
soon as I
couldn't
can.
hear with all that was
Yeah.
going on, and I missed part of it. That's
Okay.
why I'm
So
sorry.
that
But
will
we're
be,
going to get you the
Okay,
information.
that's why I'm looking at it. Okay, these are the points, okay.
all this is the framework for why we're concerned.
Right, okay.
But we need, and Tom can speak better to this, I think, we need people to bring in their own concerns. Like, I am sick and tired of getting closed out. What I wanted to give you was factual foundation, and then you put the hair and makeup on it. So, Tom, if you want to.
Okay.
It's just important when you write it. I mean, if you just put your name on this, it's like one sheet of paper. 100 people put their name on this, it counts as basically one in the mind of those who are going to look at it. So it's important that you tell why it's important to the community that we need these things from disappearing. So however you want to do that in your own words, the emotional part of it will connect. You need to make them understand this is something the community wants. We just aren't asking for things on a piece of paper that are kind of, this is good, but you need to let them know that you need these things, you want these things, because this is the community's way it's been since the 1800s. We're losing trails. We want to lose more trails. We want to maintain our access that we've always had, and put it into your words. Look, we used to ride from here to there, and it's going to be blocked off. If they put a development here, we won't be able to go through. Whatever it is, that your concerns are, just make sure you express it. Make it personal. Make it personal, and make it personal and make it emotional, but keep it, and then use your bullet points, to explain why we should have this and why it shouldn't be disappearing.
Right. Well,
Because it will disappear if the CSD goes through that sense.
And the bullet points will help give you some ideas on how to make it a little more personal, because you'll read it and go, oh, wow, yeah.
Keep us all on track too.
Yes.
A lot of times there's a perception that it's just the 5 or less or the 6 of us that want something, and they'll use that a lot. Well, it's just the town council. Well, that's where you guys come in, because it's not the town council, it's you. We only want what you want. So, but if we speak, it's good, and we can put down Jackie can put down the details that can help with a lot of things, and possibly legislation or lawsuits or whatever. But you need to change. You need to get into the minds of the supervisors that this is what the community wants, and
And it's also what the general plan says.
well, that's here. So
Yeah. It's not, we're not asking for anything more than what they've already promised us with the AV plan and the county plan. And that's Parks and Rec's methodologies don't achieve the goals of the plan. And those are our goals. So we've asked, how does this meet your responsibilities for that? And they still do not and have not answered that question. And on that note, before I forget, I wanted to ask if you guys wanted to write another letter to Public Works and Regional Planning and say, one thing I didn't get to today was I wanted to go back and look at the Regional Planning Commission hearing and type out exactly what the hearing, what the
It's in the.
commissioner said,
Yes.
who directed Public Works and Regional Planning to work with the Acton Town Council on these issues. Well, I'm sorry, we're having a meeting where we keep saying the same thing over at Parks and Recs, and they're saying, well, we're working through this. It isn't getting there. I mean, I'm grateful that they're taking John Kessler's maps. I'm just grateful, but it's not.
Right, and Jackie, we have to remember too that we've never actually heard back from Public Works.
Nope.
They talked about there possibly being a liaison for us for Public Works.
Right.
Read that again, and we've just never heard that. So I think we need to continually write, I don't care if it's the same email every week to
Oh, I think every
Public
day.
Works or
Every day.
and forward it, continually forward it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to be able to cite what the commissioner said at the hearing.
Right, and yes,
So I
printed all
didn't get a
those
chance to
papers.
pull up the hearing and type that out, but that's,
Okay.
so what do you, I don't think we need a motion for that, but
No, I think we've written
an email to the Public Works on the issues that we've talked about, and Parks and Rec saying, we are still not seeing, we've had several meetings and a tour, we're still not seeing how your process achieves the adopted plan goals and policies. Just explain that, because they haven't.
Other than Michelle telling us that they're just working on it.
Yeah, but they're working.
Well,
There's no definite explanation.
Chuck, when we had the meeting with Supervisor Barber, I think you were there, right?
Yeah.
And we talked about Public Works not responding, and she said basically that, we got the impression that she was gonna go
Tell them to respond.
tell them to respond. Is there any feedback that you can give us on anything that's happened there?
Yeah, so let me go check, because yes, I don't know anything further from that meeting there, but that's, I'm not going to answer that. That's what I'm going to say. But I'll ask them.
Okay.
Well, we will CC you on the email, you and Donna and Supervisor Barber and Mr. Soraya, on the email to Public Works and the email to Parks and Recs, sort of setting forth again the concerns.
I think there should be maybe two letters. One letter that the supervisor personally addressed and say, hey, we're still trying to get through here,
Right.
just to let her know. And then the other letter with Public Works is to be a little more,
Do you want to write something to Supervisor Barber?
okay, I can do that.
Because I have a feeling you have a feeling about what you wanted to say.
I just want to, respectfully ask that she drop the hammer on these people.
It's about time.
You're a good writer, Tom.
It's about time.
And so then I will do DPW and DPR. Okay, all right, so that's.
Is there a special term you guys use in the county, Chuck?
For drop the hammer?
Yeah.
Knock the heads together?
Put over in there, so I know it's a big hammer.
Beat their ass.
What we've got going on is we've got 4 open seats coming up in November. So August 16th, the applications will be out in the community. They'll be at Acton Auto Parts, the print shop, and any other place, maybe downtown here at the grocery store somewhere that I can get them posted. So September 17th is the date for the applications to be turned in, and then of course the election I think is November 4th. So that's
So
it.
application's out on the
August.
16th.
It's August 16th. I'm going to have them out way before that.
Okay.
And then I'll be calling all my horse friends, my new horse friends, saying
And they have to be in by which date again, please?
September 17th at 5 p.m.
September 17th. All right, do we still have the PO box for that or not?
Yes,
We do.
it just goes to our regular P.O. Box 810.
Okay, because we had a separate one at one time.
Yeah, we don't.
Okay. Do you need any materials modified or?
No, Jeremiah did it, and he sent it to the print shop, and I called them today. They said they'll have them ready for me tomorrow.
Okay, council member comments. Start with you, Pam.
Okay,
Have any of you people been hearing that children
address this to you. Here we are tonight, we're in a building where it's hard for people to hear, we're paying for it. The AC is not working properly tonight, I don't know what I did to it, Tom tried to fix it, but I don't have it on right. We don't have computer access here. There's things that we need to be back at the library, and I've called Jim Wall 3 times now, asking him when we can get back there.
I just sent him an email about 10 minutes ago asking when. He told me back in June, end of June, he told me, oh yeah, we're moving forward that. So I just asked him, yeah, what,
Well, that's what he told me too, Chuck, and I thought for July we would be back at the library, just more
I
comfortable.
told you guys were certainly hoping to have it in August, so let me find out. The last we had heard is that all the county offices are supposed to be reopened mid-September.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know if this,
the library's open, but not the meeting room. That doesn't make sense to me.
And
So,
all his staff
Programming at the
left.
library either. It's all
Right.
remote stuff.
right.
So all the things for the kids and people in the community is.
So I'm gonna put that back on you, Chuck, and see what you can do.
yeah.
I will call Jim again tomorrow and whine like the big baby that I can be when I
Well,
don't
so
get
he's
my
got the
way.
same question that I just emailed to him, so you can piggyback off that, he knows I'm asking.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Jackie?
Well, I'm wearing this mask, I'm going to go there, because Ferrer has issued an order for public meetings indoors, you have to wear a mask. So I'm wearing the mask because I don't believe that we should be having public meetings and demanding that the county comply with their own code when we're not going to do the same thing with their own orders. Having said that, I will point out that me wearing a mask doesn't protect anybody. If you haven't gotten the vaccine or you don't have the antibodies, either by being exposed to COVID or by having the vaccine, that's your choice. And if you choose to go out in public without those protections, then if you get sick, I shouldn't have to wear this mask to protect you. That's your choice. And I also want to point out that we're wearing masks because they're all worried about all the new infections. But if you look at the deaths, there are 0 deaths today. So now I'm being forced to wear this mask to protect people from getting sick, not even dying now at this point. If you have the antibodies, if you have the vaccine, or were exposed to COVID and you get sick, you experience basically hay fever. You don't go in the hospital, your symptoms are not so horrible that you're even injured to that level.
No,
Yet,
your mask doesn't
I still
protect
have
you.
to wear, I still have to wear this mask because that's what Ferrer has said. And it's pointless and it's stupid, and I want somebody at the county to start standing up to her and telling her that if it's going to protect somebody from being in the hospital or dying, that's one thing. But if we don't have people dying in the hospital, again, today, 0 deaths. There's no. What?
I think we had 5 reported.
I can't understand you, I'm sorry.
He says we have 5 reported deaths.
I think we had 5 reported.
Well, I just looked it up, it says
Today?
0 deaths today. So, I can't get my
The
hotspot
county
to work.
doesn't
Is
send
that-
out, in the beginning of this whole thing, didn't we used to get emails?
Yeah.
Yes.
Town council.
I mean, I know that.
Their updates, we haven't gotten them in a year.
Actually, Chuck did forward us updates after the last meeting, but we're not getting them on a regular basis anymore. Nobody is.
But we're wearing this mask because to protect people from getting infected. 20% of the people getting infected already have the vaccine or probably already had COVID. And so they're not even having severe symptoms. The only people having severe symptoms are those people who have chosen not to get the vaccine or have not been exposed to COVID. That's a personal choice. I shouldn't have to be doing this crap.
No, that's their risk.
And over 50% of Americans have already received the inoculation.
Well, I would bet over 30% of Americans have already been sick.
Exactly. So we're fighting it, we're uncomfortable, we're trying to do the right thing.
People in the nation is 0.007%.
Yeah.
Okay, that's breakthrough. That's people who have been vaccinated that picked up Delta variant. The death count of those 0.007% is 0.0033. So literally, you can get struck by lightning before a vaccinated person dies.
Yep.
Not to say that anybody who gets sick and dies, it's a horrible thing. But, you know,
It happens.
these things never go away. The plague still comes back.
40,000 people die of just
Yeah.
flu.
So I agree with Jackie that LA County needs to look at the financial welfare of their county and let people get back to normal, and you let the schools get back and operate normally. Lakeland needs to get off their rear and say, you know what? I can't even find a kid that has this, that's at risk, unless, you know, there are risk groups, and if there are, you deal with them. But yeah, I agree with Jackie. The county needs to move forward like the rest of the country. So,
Yeah.
that's, you know, again, my opinion. Troy?
I'm gonna agree with that. That's it, I'm not gonna get into money.
Yeah, and I do, you know, if somebody says I'm uncomfortable, I'll put it on. Yeah. I brought it. I'm not saying it's not good, but I have it. Okay, new and unfinished business. All right, we have waste management coming next meeting.
We also have, there's also something else, and I can't remember what
Next
it is.
meeting they're coming,
The
Wednesday?
16th, August 16th, Public Works and Waste Management. No, but then there was something else added that came across the wires. I don't remember what it is now.
That'll be announced on the next agenda.
We should probably also put the CSD on, because that's the last meeting
Yeah.
before the hearing,
Yeah.
and the gavel drops.
Yes.
I mean, we're almost out of time on the CSD.
Guys, I will be out of town.
Oh, okay.
I'll have the stuff written up.
Okay.
Okay, so Kelly, you're out of town for,
Yeah, it depends on.
So if we are picking up on the 16th, that's our meeting, so we may or may not know if there's people running for office yet, because it starts on that day.
yeah,
So I'll just throw it on there anyways, actually.
okay,
So
no
we
problem.
remind people, election reminder.
Okay.
And the people that are up for election, we have one NPC, it's myself, Troy, and Tom.
Yep.
The White Sox.
We're right siders. Because we are on the right side. Anything else that's unfinished?